So with the dawn of the Polish and Italian tank trees coming soon, there is one tech tree that has always been left in the dust in World of Tanks. One tech tree that was left with just one branch, and it was actually quite a decent branch which a lot of players enjoyed. This is the Czechoslovakian tech tree, and today we're going to be looking at the proposal for a tank destroyer line for this tech tree. So in this video I will try and keep short. I'll go over some of the tank statistics, mainly the gun statistics and some other details. If you want to go and check out this tech tree, I recommend you do. The link will be in the description. This tank was actually built for the Yugoslavians, but was scrapped after those pesky Yugoslavs decided they didn't want it. The tank is a choice from two guns, the 27mm Skoda A3 and the 47mm Skoda A9J. The 37mm A3 has 52mm pen and 40 HP of damage per shot, or average on standard rounds. The stats for the other two shell types are on the screen now. I only mentioned standard ammunition, but I will show the others as well. The 47mm A9J has 62mm penetration and does 60 HP of damage. The tank's hull armor will be as followed: 30mm on the front, 15mm on the side, and 12mm on the rear. The tank will also have minus 10 degrees of gun depression, which is actually quite good for a Tier 2. Tank's top speed is also 31 km per hour, and its crew will consist of two crew members, the commander and the driver. This tank destroyer has a fully rotating turret, which I believe makes it one of 3 tanks in this line to have a fully rotating turret. The tank has two guns, the 47mm Skoda A2 and the 40mm Skoda Z1. The A2 has 45mm penetration and does 55 HP of damage. The Z1 is an autoloader with a clip size of 4. The pen is 82mm and the damage is around 50 on average. The tank in terms of armor is basically paper. The hull armor all around is 5.5mm. The tank has a top speed of 41 km per hour and has 4 crew members in the tank. The auto-loading gun has good accuracy but has a long aim time and big bloom after shooting, making only the first shot really accurate. If you don't aim, 4 shells can leave the gun in about 1 to 1.5 seconds. This tank has a potential for 3 guns, but it will most likely have 2. The 75mm Skoda A13 has 103mm of penetration and does 110 HP of damage. The 75mm Skoda A16 has 115mm pen and does 110 HP of damage. 105mm Authryse VZ1840N has 64mm penetration and does 350 HP of damage. The tank's hull armor on the front is 50mm, sides 25mm and rear 25mm. The tank's top speed is 50 km per hour, which...
That's fast, right? Is it fast? I feel like it is.
In game, this tank will play out like the Tier 4 Stug. Although it is bigger target, it will have a better gun depression and rate of fire. I messed that up. This is one of 2 clone tanks in the tech tree, but what makes this different from the Hetzer is that it's 1 tier up and has 5 different gun choices. The first 3 guns on the tank, the 75mm VZ40N, the 75mm VZ3944N, and the 105mm STUH42-L20 are all on the Hetzer. The tank's gun stats will be the same as the ones on the Hetzer, and I'll put them on the screen now. So obviously, as this tank is a Tier 5, it will need some better guns to make it a Tier 5 competitor. The 85mm VZ44S has 126 penetration and does 160 HP of damage on average per shot. These 2 new guns will both have bad gun handling. The tank's hull armor is 60, 20 and 20mm. Its top speed is 40 km per hour. The tank will pretty much play like the Hetzer, but as it's a higher tier, its armor will not mean as much as it did when it is at Tier 4. The magnificent tank with the very long name I can't spell because What? This tank destroyer was very similar in construction to the Hetzer, but was built on a new chassis. The tank has 3 guns available to it. The 105mm H10 has 75mm pen and does 350 HP of damage. 76.2mm A19 is the same as on the previous tank. The 76.2mm A19 Type 2 has 150mm pen and does 145 HP of damage. The tank's armor is 50, 25 and 25mm. The top speed of the tank is 55 km per hour. The tank is kinda like the previous tank destroyer but faster with much better gun handling. The final somewhat of a clone tank in this tech tree. This is a licensed produced SU-100 from the Soviet Union. The tank has 2 guns available to it. The 100mm VZ-44S, which has 175mm penetration and does 250 HP of damage. 100mm A20 has 205mm pen and does 320 HP of damage. The stock engine for this tank is the same as the top engine on the SU-100. The tank's top speed is 55 km per hour. The armor is 75, 45 and 45mm. This tank is basically an SU-100 but with a punchier gun. The tank will also have good accuracy and a very good rate of fire. Now this tank will be very good because I do love the SU-100, so if this does come at tier 7, I think it'll be able to cope because the SU-100 does have a very good gun on it, and this will have a new gun probably a lot better. Firstly, why the hell does this tank have such a goddamn long name? Why? This is the tier 8 in the tech tree and has 3 available guns. The 110mm A20 is the same as the SD100s. The 100mm R11 has 230mm of penetration and does 320 HP of damage. The 100mm AK1 is an autoloader with a clip size of 3 and has 248mm of pen and does 320 HP of damage on average per shot. The hull armor is 65, 40 and 40mm. The top speed is 50 km per hour. This tank is basically a huge E25. The R11 has better accuracy and DPM, while the AK1 is an autoloader with slightly more penetration. The tank has decent camo, shit armor, and it is rather fast. Oh come on, what is up with the Czechs and ridiculous tank names? Just look at the size of this thing. You could fit an airport on this name. The tank has the same 3 guns as the tank before it, but has another gun. The 100mm R11 Zasobnika is an autoloader with a clip size of 5 with penetration of 269mm and damage of 320 HP. The reload time between each shot is about 2.3 seconds. The tank has paper thin armor with it being 20mm all around the tank. The tank's top speed is 50 km per hour, and this tank is basically like the one before it, but it has a fully rotating turret. The turret rotation would be faster, usual turreted tank destroyer, but not as fast as the TVP T50. This tank is practically the same as the tank before it, but with different gun ammo. This tank will also have the choice between 2 guns. The 152mm howitzer 43.5-675 will have 288mm pen and will do 800 damage, and its standard ammunition is high explosive anti-tank round. The next gun is the 152mm J2 with 315mm pen and will do 750 average damage per shot. This second gun may just be another proposal for the tank's hull armor will be 20mm all around the tank. Yet again, paper thin. The tank's top speed is 50 km per hour. Well, this is the end for the Czechoslovakian tank destroyer proposal. Do you think this line should come to war? What is your favourite tank in this line? My favourite is the tier 10. I will link the tech tree in the description as I won't be covering this further. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a nice week. Just like this.